Hi, I'm Miro. I'm a TNT champion.
This is Rachel Ellering, the Queen of Strong Smile.
I'm Eric Bischoff.
Live events, all right? When the WWE comes on the holiday tour, when they come to Ireland.
Or Davy Boy without hair braids.
As a fan with braids, as his daughter without braids.
And you
Are watching
WrestleSlam.
WrestleSlam.
And you're watching WrestleSlam.
Welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleSlam. I'm joined by Jura, Liz, Matt, Phil, and a special guest, Billy, aka Karen, Phoenix Wrestling. We've seen a big announcement. There's been huge support across Cork with the announcement. But first of all, lads, how are we? Is everyone enjoying the sun?
Yes, loving it. All G.
I have a good tan, like pure red, and just like underneath the shirt, pure white, so the pure Irish tan. So hope everyone got one as well.
You're living the dream. First of all,
I got to be careful of the sun, obviously. So I'll usually hat up when I go out.
I'm almost there, Billy. Don't worry, man.
And I
crazy time.
just take the plunge.
First of all, Billy, look, I know it's been a crazy couple of months for you. First of all, with Phoenix Wrestling, we've seen the announcement that broke a few days back. It's also on the Cork BO page as well. How tough has it been for you personally? Because look, obviously there's been numerous lockdowns. You can't shine when it comes to putting on shows. Even restrictions with the academy and stuff. But what's it been like for you personally, firsthand? How tough has it been?
It's been a roller coaster, real roller coaster. To be honest with you, I mean, the kind of inevitability of the announcement the other day has been looming for quite a little bit. Like we moved into the new unit a year ago next Saturday, and we were open for 3 out of 12 months. So we opened in August, but it was great, and the future looked bright. Living with COVID and all that kind of stuff, the plans were for the whole country was looking good. But no one could really have predicted what happened over the last 12 months. But we shut it down in October, opened again for about 3 weeks in December, and that's been closed since then. So it's been an emotional roller coaster. We've tried to stay together as a unit with all the lads, on just staying together in a group. Did some online training during lockdown, having wrestling chats together, watch-alongs, did promo competitions internally, that kind of thing, just to try and keep it interesting and try and keep people engaged, because everyone was really isolated there for quite some time. But from a personal point of view, I mean, from the financial personal point of view, the impact, I suppose, has been really felt. And the landlord was sound. It's not as if we came to a really big decision, really. But he's a businessman, and we've been closed for 12. We've only paid full rent 3 out of 12 months, And we had a go live date and a business plan for July, because I rent the unit out to Muay Thai fellas. They have a Phoenix Muay Thai club as well. So there was a business plan to pay back the rent and get going again, but again, another setback there in July, and there's no clarity. I feel really let down by government and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just one of many sports clubs around the country. I was on into 6FM yesterday again talking about it, and Jerry Buttermore came on, who's a local politician, and I'm sitting down with him next week. I'd love to know what he has to say about things like this. You know what I mean? But that's where we are. Unfortunately, we're pulling out of Cork. The doors will close next Saturday for the last time in this particular unit. I'm lucky enough in one regard. If I was to put the ring into storage, full stop, I probably would never again open up. You know what I mean? If it goes into storage, I'm done. So I have a good. Obviously, you guys know Steve Savage. He's a good personal friend of mine as well. And we started Phoenix kind of together back in the day, but he kind of stepped away. So for now, for the short to medium term, I'm going to put the ring in Limerick, because he has a unit up there, and I might run some classes out of there, very small scale, for the time being, when we can open up. But we mightn't be able to open up for months. So the ring is just going to stay up there for the time being until we figure some stuff out in Cork. It's very disappointing for all the local trainees as well, and fans. There's been a lot of people reaching out during the week, and yourself included. And thanks very much, and thanks very much for having me today. It's kind of emotional, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It really is, because I put so much into it, and so has a lot of other people.
Well, Billy, we Phil, you better do Phil first.
I was just going to say all your talent as well would be under 25, a lot of them. So it's very hard to even get vaccinated.
I know. I mean, how do we regulate that? it's a very tricky one when it comes to, I think, that scenario where you're trying to people can only train if they're vaccinated. How do you turn away somebody that's been there for 7 years with you, or 6 years or 4 years, and then some people don't want to get vaccinated? Do you know what I mean? And you have to tell them, well, I can't wrestle you, but I can wrestle you. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, you know. It's a bit it's really strange times we're living in, you know. But that's where we are, you know. And yeah, you're right. There, a lot of the younger people, I'm sure they won't be able to get vaccinated for a long time. So there's none of them can technically train either, you know.
Yeah, and like it's essential, Billy, to have a place like this in Cork, because look, there was like for years there was nothing happening in Cork, like, and obviously Phoenix was set up then. Obviously, you know, you've got the school and stuff. Like it's essential for people, even you know, health and well-being. Like people that come to the school and they learn to wrestle and they want to be on shows and stuff. Like it's affecting so many people, and I think it's only. Surely it's only a matter of time before someone, I'm not going to say in government, but like a local politician or someone that would say, like, you know, we really need to understand how beneficial this is to Cork, first of all, and we need to do something to keep it going, because I was saying, like, you know, like, we hear so much about GoFundMe pages and all this and all that, but, you know what I mean, it would be nice if someone just stepped in and said, look, Billy, here we go, like, we're gonna help you that bit more and keep you open until it does all brush aside and you can shine again. Yeah. But it's crazy, but it's so beneficial to keep Phoenix going in Cork. I know it's going to go to perhaps Limerick for a while and you know, do its thing down there, but it really is needed in Cork, isn't it?
Absolutely. Look, absolutely. I was only thinking about this before I came on a while ago. I started wrestling training 7 years ago last May, right, when CCW training school opened. Like the Cork wrestling scene, whether it's Phoenix or CCW or whatever, like, which was done great stuff as well in Cork before me, like at times, right. The Cork wrestling scene is needs a school, and it does need a facility for people to train and run shows out of, you know. And it's a crying shame that we're forced that we have to close, you know. But who knows in the short to medium? But you're right about people stepping up. I mean, I'd love to know what Jerry Buttermore has to say. Like if he really is, and he's a sportsman. I know him. Like he actually taught me in school a long time ago. So I'd love to know what he's going to say about it. He wants to meet me and all this kind of stuff. And I hope it's not just political jargon on the radio yesterday, talking shite. You know, if he puts his word to it and he can help us out. Not from a financial point of view or anything. I mean, from a facility point of view, in a direction where we can train. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or some sort of clarity. Then, you know, he's a man of his word. If not, then it's just political jargon. You know. What
annoys me though, right, is that wrestling is unique. Like you have 200 football clubs, 300 guard clubs. You have probably 15, 20 tennis clubs. You've got one wrestling club.
Yeah.
So why not keep it going? Why not like let them like? You know, I just can't understand why they can't protect it. Do you know what I mean? Why haven't they approached you prior to this and said, look, you know, Billy, we you know, we're gonna give you whatever you need. Like, you know what I mean? As in, look, premises wise, look, if you're to give up, because like the premises you have, first of all, like that, you probably fought a long time to get a good premises in general. So like,
yeah,
premises wise is perfect, and you have that. But now all the shit's happened with lockdown, man, and you know, it's hard for anyone to pay bills during the midst of a lockdown.
Yeah, it is. The premise is perfect, absolutely perfect. I mean, it's the first one we had was grand. Like, you know, it was just a startup. It was a glorified shed, but it was grand. It was our shed, you know. And it was the first time Cork had its own dedicated wrestling school. The other ones that were involved in Cork before were always rented off somebody, or there was somebody else in there or whatever. This was the first time we had a unit of our own. Excuse me, but like. Wrestling falls in between somewhere between performance, art and sports, and it falls in the middle and no one wants to know about it. There's not a grant available, there's nothing. Even Joe Cabret last year found himself in a very similar position when he had to pull out, you know, and he put his ring in, he just bided his time, put his ring into storage, but he didn't get penny one off anyone either, you know, and there's nothing, I applied for grants, I applied for everything that I could possibly apply for, but there's no wrestling board, there's no affiliation with anything, you know, so it's very hard to try and get any support because people just don't want to know, like, which is an awful pity, like, because
and then when they say no, then they don't give that clarification why it was no. It's just kind of like no.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you know yourself, like we're the same with all the film stuff that we do. They just say no and that's it.
Yeah, it is.
And then months doing it, and it's just like so destroying.
Yeah, it is soul destroying. Right now, the local guys in Cork, I know, are actively looking to try and do something, you know. Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen in the next while. I physically can't, emotionally, technically, and financially can't put my name to anything at the moment because, you know, I'm trying to get out of one lease and it's just a nightmare for trying to buy a house and everything. If I have to declare bankruptcy, that kind of thing, you know. So I'm in a bit of a tricky situation when it comes to that. So I know the lads are trying to do something in Cork, and I'm fully supportive for that. You know, I'd even would use my ring and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, if something comes up in the next 3 to 4 months, you know, we should be back up and running again at some point. But you never know what'll happen, you know.
There probably is a short window, as you say, because as you say, if you put the ring into storage, it could mean bad stuff. But like, if someone can reach out fairly fast and give you a solution, or you know, come to some sort of a solution, then it could be good news moving forward. Like,
yeah, because I think we're like the structure's there, the bones are there, the skeleton, the crew are there. You know what I mean? It's not something that has to be started from scratch. Like, we were teed for success. All we need to do is open the bloody doors, like, you know. And it's a crying shame, but look, we are where we are, unfortunately.
I feel like Jerry was like, I feel like someone needs to reach out, because we're not going to say this as like for a wrestling standpoint. This is something that we need to open for people to come in and, you know, learn like in the wrestling school and put on events. That way more people can come down to Cork, see the events, check out the school, not even the school, even Cork, for people who've never been to Cork before, like, and it'll be good for the Cork Council. So that way someone can reach out for you if they can see that way, instead of it's just a wrestling school.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not just like it. There's a lot of lives affected by things like this in a positive way and a negative way. I mean, lives are affected in a positive way in relation to young people coming into the school, growing into young men and women, and you can see them blossoming. Do you know what I mean? I've seen teenagers growing into adults over the last 7 years, like, and I've been involved in helping out a lot of people as well, and other people as well. Raven Creed, Butch Armstrong, Marion Armstrong as well did great stuff while he was involved with us. You know, yeah, we have to wait and see. You know, we have to wait and see what Jared Bonner has to say, and the likes of him as well. I mean, that's what they're there for, right? That's why we vote these people in. You know, when you need them, do something, like, or why are you asking people to vote you in? Do you know what I mean? So
you're bang on. How often would you ask for something? You know what I mean? Over this whole shit show that has been the last 18 months, there has been absolutely no protection, support for the fitness industry, be it gym, be it wrestling, be it you name it. There's been nothing, unless you're part of the Gaelic scene or where you're promoting the country and any of those kind of sports where you can have your fan or your games in front of so many fans, etc., and your usual season ticket holders who keep everything ticking over. There has been sweet fuck all in the basis of the fitness industry, which is now, as we've seen over how many years, as you've just said, Billy, essential to people's mental health, personal growth, development, not only physically and in the fitness aspect of their life, but in every aspect of their life, socially, professionally, their own personal development and growth. It's an absolute outrage. So I hope to God he's got some kind of trick up his sleeve or pull something out of his ass, because it is so needed. Yes, around the country, but particularly here in Cork. Bang on.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, I've got lovely messages from parents as well who are thanking me for all the help we've given their kids and stuff. Like, I'm just a dude who loves wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I'm not a teacher. I have no qualifications in relation to anything like that. But like, you treat people with respect. You treat them well. You kind of give them a little bit of knowledge that you've gathered over the years yourself, and you love to see them doing well, you know. But it's definitely not it's definitely not the end full time for us, you know what I mean? It's just we're in a tricky situation right now, and we just need to navigate through it, I think. But yeah,
I think that's important to let the people know that you're training as well, that this is not the end. Like, don't get down on it. Don't feel like you're never going to be able to wrestle, or you're never going to make it, whatever. Like, you have to think forward, like just a blip in the ocean, and you think forward, think to the future, and it's not the end of your training at all. Like, you can bounce back. It's just something that you have to get over the hurdle first.
Absolutely. Do you know what I wanted to suggest as well, as Jerry, you mentioned something to me this week as well. I'd love to do everyone's saying you outdoor this and outdoor that. I'd look at the weather outside. I could do a show in the morning if we had somewhere we could put the ring, and we'd have a hell of a time of you know. I don't. We need to try. I'm trying to figure out somewhere to do an outside show in Cork in the next 6 weeks if I can. Obviously, it can't be anything public, parks and all that, because it's just too much hassle to try and put on. But if anyone has any suggestions about where we could put the ring for an afternoon or an evening, then we put on a good show.
I'm sure we'll find a field.
That's all you need. A feed and a generator by a bit of music. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be unbelievable. Yeah, I think that's it. Because I was only saying to Chelsea, I think it's obviously, look, we know it's not the end of Phoenix. Obviously for Cork, it's going to be a tricky couple of months, and I know there's obviously it might come back down the road, hopefully. But like, I think it's only fair that Phoenix in Cork gets a good send off before it takes that little break from Cork. You know what I mean? So hopefully Jerry can sort things out. Hopefully people reach out. Like, wrestling needs to be recognised as also like a sport. It's recognised as obviously entertainment, but it's. You know yourself, like, it's not recognised like the GAN, football, and camogie and stuff, and it needs to be recognised. It brings a lot of smiles to people's faces. If you meet any wrestler that walks through a door within, Phoenix Wrestling, like, they can tell you stories, like, it changes their lives, you know what I mean? They make friends for life, they learn so much, it helps their mental health, they shine their bit, the progression's huge. But hopefully, as you say, we can come up with an idea where Phoenix get to do something shortly in the next 6 weeks. A nice day, nice generator, ring. It'll be great. We'll try and make it happen. We'll push out the word as always. There's no doubt about that. No doubt.
I remember I got into the cricket club last year. They were interested, right? But I think they're very busy this year. I've been on to some places like Cork Con rugby, somewhere where the pitch isn't being used at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, our pitches are being used left, right, and centre, but soccer and rugby are off at the moment. So if anybody is listening to this, they have a suggestion, then definitely contact anybody.
Would you not try schools?
For schools, I haven't. To be honest with you, any school I've ever spoke to, they've been very slow with
responding. Yeah. They're all close as well at the moment, I suppose. It'd be hard to reach out to them.
Yeah. This would be a dumb suggestion, but have you tried like boxing clubs or like MMA clubs around Cork? Because they in somewhere in a similar area, they can might toss up a ring maybe.
It'll have to be outdoors though, I think, won't it?
Have to be outdoors, yeah.
Although we'll definitely figure something out. I think between all of us there, we can play this too, and hopefully we get it over the line in the next 6 weeks, or even prior, maybe 2-3 weeks. It'll be great. But no, as you say, look, Billy, it's an absolute honour to speak to you. As you say, look, we were looking forward for months to coming to shows and promoting shows, and obviously you didn't get a chance to do that. And it's all down to this bollocks in COVID and vaccines being kind of slow for the younger generation and stuff. But hopefully it's back in Cork before the end of the year. We might get a little surprise towards the end of the year where, look, a chat with a politician might change things, and the public get behind it and help things. And who knows, we might get a Christmas show. Who knows? You never know.
Well, as long as I have a ring, I'm a promoter, right? And there's always going to be shows in Cork. That's a fact. There's no turning our back on that. Yeah. I'd love to. We just need to get the school side of things sorted out in the next 6 months. But as soon as we're allowed to do shows, there'll be shows in Cork. That's a fact. So we will be bouncing back at some point soon. But there's the school aspect of it. We kind of need to sort out.
No, we appreciate that, guys. We're going to switch to WWE. Obviously, we speak about that. John Cena's returned. It's so hard to talk about this stuff when we just talked about all that serious stuff. Phoenix all the way, but obviously Cena's back. Goldberg's back. Phil, your boy Goldberg is back. He's going to take up Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam in 10-20 seconds. What's your take on Goldberg coming back? He looks great. I think he's in the best shape of his life.
Do you know what the good thing is? He's going to lose that it's his last match.
I think he's going to win. I think he's going to wipe out Bobby in 20 seconds.
Stop winded, Philo.
I can't do any more than that. That's enough of
that. Sure. What's your take on Goldberg coming back, first of all?
Just WWE being WWE, like, they don't have any new stars that they can use to, give Brock. Obviously, Brock didn't want to face Bobby, so they're like, who else have we got? But Goldberg has one more match left in his contract. Let's just give it to him and get over it. And that's pretty much it. They just ran out of ideas. They have nobody. They haven't built anybody up big enough to be the main event of a pay-per-view, as big as SummerSlam is going to be. So, and it's just for ratings as well, to get people watching, the shows building up to SummerSlam. Goldberg, regardless if he's over the hill or not, people are going to tune in to watch him. Goldberg.
Yeah. Liz, what's your take on Goldberg?
To be honest, firstly, did you hear the pop?
Yeah.
I was expecting it and I wasn't expecting it because Goldberg can kind of go either way.
That was his
you
knee
know?
going out of joint. He's so old, it popped out.
Don't be a prick. No, don't be a prick. I'm not fighting this early in the podcast. So, like, I mean, the pop was huge for him. But to be honest with you, I know it's like, you know, textbook WWE, but I also feel that the timing was correct because I don't know would he have got that much of a reaction not swinging off the coattails of Money in the Bank. You know, so I think the timing on it was right. I don't think he's going to squash Bobby. I hope to Christ he doesn't squash Bobby. I don't think he will. But I was glad that he just laughed and said, "You're next," and headed off again. I don't think it needed any more than that because if he started talking a little bit too long, it's not really great. But yeah, I think the timing was bang on it. I'm not totally against it, but I'd like him to have the last match now and kind of move into a different role.
Yeah. No interest in Matt. What's your take on Goldberg? You've met the man.
He just needs to fuck off. Like, oh, I mean, sorry. But how I feel about Goldberg? When I saw him just coming out, I just thought.
You know, he watches the show about, yeah?
Sorry?
You know, he watches the show, Goldberg, yeah?
Oh, God, I was just messing.
Matt, you're next, Matt.
Oh my God, Matt, you're next.
Glad. I was gonna have like the theme song's gonna play in the background. I'm like, I'm not even gonna question this. But anyway, Goldberg being the nice lad that he is. I mean, when he first came back, when I just saw him come back, I didn't understand why. Like, I understand he has like one more match left, but I just thought this is just gonna be, you know, he's just gonna have a match with Bobby Lashley, he'll lose, and then we're just gonna think, well, that's weird. We're gonna move on to the next one. But I just hope that they maybe put together a story instead of like, you know, just Goldberg coming up and just saying how much great he is, why he wants to win the title. I feel like Bobby should just step up and say, no, you're not worthy of this championship, because that is who Bobby Lashley's gimmick is at the moment, who's worthy. So
he did say that, though. He actually did say that.
Through Goldberg, did he?
Yeah, you're not getting a title shot yet.
He did. Well then, let's move on.
But he wasn't holding the microphone thing, so it doesn't count.
Doesn't count. But I just, that's one thing. Was like, I just want a good story out of this instead of like Goldberg just coming back for absolutely no reason. Same way when he did Drew McIntyre. Was like, I felt like, okay, that was a random show up and random match he had, but that's kind of how I feel about it. Like at this point.
Interesting. Billy, what's your take on Goldberg? Look, obviously we remember Goldberg back in WCW when he was fucking incredible. He destroyed everyone. But what's your take? Obviously, look, he came back a couple of years ago against Brock, and it was pretty good. Do you think it's time for him to hang up the old boots?
I'm obviously the only Goldberg fan in this crew, right? Yeah, I don't know. I really like Goldberg. I don't like him wrestling now, but I do really like Goldberg. I think he deserves a chance to say goodbye in front of the fans. Yeah. You know, I think if there was fans at his match against Drew McIntyre, that would have been the one you'd say goodbye to, but there wasn't. So it's more of a spectacle now, isn't it? It's like I pop massively for nostalgia at this point. It's about, you know, you do when you get to a certain age when people start coming back. You know what I mean? You know, it's a big pop, right? So I don't know. It's a spectacle. It's his entrance. It's like Taker, not to the same level. Not comparing the two in that regard, but it's just the entrance. It's the spectacle. It's the whole thing. It's not about the match with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. He 100% shouldn't go over Bobby Lashley. I don't think he will either. But I do think he deserves probably the chance to say goodbye in front of the fans. You know?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Now, obviously, Billy Cena's back. Now, Cena has a couple of years. He's a couple of years younger than Goldberg. He looks all right. His hair looks fantastic. My God, whatever he's done to his hair, they know skin fade at the side, a bit of length on top. He looks really good. But apparently, Cena's back for a couple of months. I don't know is he going to surpass SummerSlam, but obviously, pretty good to see Cena back for the kids, maybe the adults. I don't know.
Yeah, again, same kind of idea. Like, although Cena can work, like, you know what I mean? He's a worker. Like, he was always a good wrestler. Maybe not just Shawn Michaels type of worker, but he was, you know, John Cena's he deserves to kind of pick and choose what he wants to do as well in wrestling. Do you know what I mean? He's earned the right to do that. Big pop as well when he came back the other night. Do you know what I mean? I saw the clip. Be interesting to see what he does. Interesting to see, is it just going to be Roman Reigns and all that kind of stuff, or what's he going to do? But I like it. I think it'll sell tickets. It'll sell T-shirts. They obviously need the money in relation to the fans for the last 12 months. You know what I mean, or beyond. Not, so they need to start. I understand why they're bringing back people like Cena and Goldberg for that type of thing, But I'm happy to see him.
Love it. Phil, does Cena beat Roman at SummerSlam?
I don't think so. Isn't there a rumor he's going to Europe the day after for filming? So I don't think he will.
Interesting. Do you think it's good to see him back?
Oh, it's brilliant. I think he's so underrated. Like, he's had so many good matches over the years that he's just underappreciated. When he's gone, you miss him.
Yeah. I'm actually happy to see him back. Even like, the new merch.
Yeah, no,
he looks
it's funny to see that sign if Cena arrives with a chair.
Yeah, he looks great though. Like, I must say, he really does look good. Some people come back and look haggard, but he looks really good.
Yeah, he always takes care of himself.
Yeah.
I know that I might get called out, bit like saying I just buried Goldberg's return, but so I'm like, why am I defending Cena? I think it's a good move bringing back John Cena because everyone who cheered for him, everyone who was like going for this, possibly grew up watching John Cena as John Cena fans. So I feel like everyone in the crowd knew who John Cena is. I think everyone in the world knows who John Cena is. And because the state WWE was ideally with Raw, this is kind of a good move to bring someone that we all know with John Cena. But I can be honest, I can't see him winning the title from Roman. I can see Roman holding on to the title for at least another year or so. Because I love Roman Reigns' gimmick at the moment. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, interesting. John Elizabeth, what's your take on Cena coming back?
You go.
Go.
All right. I have no qualms with him coming back at all. Let's face it, storytelling, it makes absolutely no sense. But that's fine considering the times we're in. So, you kind of give that a pass because there isn't any kind of like Roman. He doesn't need the rub off Cena at all. But it strengthens him further, as this whole, I suppose he's the whole show really, to be honest. On SmackDown, there's a few others as well, but he's definitely carrying quite his fair weight in it. I think as well, I love that even with Cena, with the history, how great he was for a good 10 years we had of Cena, nobody comes out to John Cena, comes out. Roman Reigns doesn't come out to anybody. Do you know, that kind of a way? It's not like he gets called out so many times, but I love that they're keeping that little bit of mystique and air about him that, no, it's on my time, and they keep doing it. And come here, protect Paul Heyman at all costs. Because hearing him last night going, do, and doing the fucking one ball is heavier than the other walk backstage, I split my fucking sides laughing. Protect him at all costs. He is a national treasure. He was fabulous. But yeah, all here for Cena, but there's no way he's taking that title.
Interesting. Sure, same opinion?
Definitely not. I'd love Big E to cash in, the way Seth Rollins cashed in, protect both of them then, because Roman loses the title, but he doesn't get pinned because Big E may have pinned Cena or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it'll play out like that, but it'd be nice if Big E became champion.
They're going to go with the Roman breaking the records.
Too long.
He's going to have it for over 600 days.
I don't think so. If they're planning to have Rock and Roman in a tag match at WrestleMania, which is the rumor, I think The Rock is going to cost them the title at some stage before WrestleMania and set up a feud. I don't think Roman being champion at WrestleMania in a tag match isn't going to make any sense.
No.
Big E cashing in does make sense, though, given the fact that SummerSlam as well, we know the history of the New Day and SummerSlam and being record breakers and stuff. Probably makes sense it's going to happen at SummerSlam because they need them big pops. They need stuff to change fast. I suppose it's great to have Cena back. It's great to have Goldberg back. Speaking of departures, you can't really say departures because, look, they're kind of involved, but they're not. All Elite Wrestling could perhaps pull off two incredible signings. Now, look, the rumor mill apparently is telling us that these deals are done. If not two of them, one of them is definitely done. But two could be possibly done. Billy, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan going to All Elite Wrestling. Surely that's massive for ratings.
Yeah, I am a big fan of AEW, to be fair. No, I haven't been watching a lot of product lately, but I just started watching AEW an hour before we came on there. The hair stood up the back of my neck hearing Jericho's music being sung back to him. It's unbelievable. But I don't know how I feel about CM Punk coming back to wrestling full stop, to be honest with you. He shot all over wrestling. My opinion is he doesn't probably deserve wrestling anymore because he fucked off. And I don't know, I'm not a big CM Punk fan because of the way he treated wrestling full stop. Daniel Bryan, however, is an absolute god in the ring. Yeah. And anything he touches, he makes better. So if AEW would sign Daniel Bryan, sign me up big time. But CM Punk, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I suppose I'll wait and see if I see if how I react. I suppose if I see him on television, you know.
We have to set up a live camera and see that reaction. Matt, I know you're a massive Bryan fan and Punk fan. So look, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago and you weren't believing it. You said there's no way he's going to go. Then you said he might go. What's your take on Bryan? Apparently it's a done deal. Apparently New York, it's going to happen. Apparently there's no one hiding away from the rumour. Do you reckon we're going to see Bryan and Punk both in All Elite Wrestling before the end of the year?
I still don't believe it. I still don't believe they signed the contract. See, AEW is trying to get into your minds. That's why I wear tinfoil all the time. But now I'm making peace with it. Anyway, I have no idea what I was just talking about. But it'll be a really good deal if we're going to see Daniel Bryan and CM Punk coming on. My one
AEW hat.
Amazing.
What about that merch?
Good
you
stuff.
You just out AEW with all of us right there now. But seriously, it's gonna be a good deal if they have CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, because I feel like CM Punk is definitely a fella that needs no introduction. Daniel Bryan, same, because to be fair, I agree with Billy. He is the best wrestler we have at the moment. Like, even if he's off contract and he is signing with AEW, I just hope AEW, won't do this thing where they'll sign too much talent and they're like so much to handle at the point. But I am buzzing to see what Daniel Bryan is going to be on AEW. I mean, it's going to be weird because we might have to call him Bryan Danielson. And to be honest, Daniel Bryan has been WWE so long. It's like, it's weird calling you this name now. But I personally am now, accepting it. I actually am looking forward to see what AEW does with them. CM Punk, I can't see him at least wrestling. He actually did a good job, like being part of the media correspondence with the UFC, so maybe he'll have a role in that in some way. But I'm delighted with this, and I can't wait to see it. So I'm just gonna have my tinfoil hat back on in a bit. So
Phil, look, you're a massive All Elite Wrestling fan. What's your take on the possible double deal? It's obviously good for business, but do you reckon it's the case Bryan's going to wrestle, Punk is just going to be there, or do you reckon they're both in it for the long run?
Both will wrestle, but I don't think they'll wrestle like every week. I wonder, is this going to be like an Outsiders 2.0?
Yeah. It's a big rumor, like everyone's saying it.
I reckon that Daniel Bryan went there because Japan deal. He wants to fight in Japan.
Yeah.
Big time.
I feel like this year, if you're a big fan of 2008 Ring of Honor, it's a good time because we have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in WWE, now CM Punk and Daniel Bryan on AEW, so good times.
And Samoa Joe on NXT.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Ger and Elizabeth, look, obviously we're Daniel Bryan fans, and look, I think back in the day we were all Punk fans, and the pipe bomb and all that kind of stuff, we all kind of got behind it. But do you think it's going to be a good move if it happens for both, and for ratings for All Elite Wrestling?
Ratings for AEW, definitely it'll draw in massive ratings. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with their Friday show Rampage, because the roster is so wide now. Having two big names like that, they're going to have to split the roster at some stage. Have a specific, maybe a big name on Rampage and a big name on Dynamite, and keep the two of them apart. I don't think they'll have a match in AEW this year or anything in the near future. I think they want to keep them apart. But as far as Daniel Bryan goes, he's the most selfless wrestler out there. He'll put anybody over. I think he's going there maybe 4 or 5 dates a year. He'll do dates in Japan, but he'll put a lot of AEW talent over and get their name out there and to people who don't actually watch the product. I think that's what Daniel Bryan's plan. Maybe his contract was there to do. But CM Punk, I heard a rumor that he's apparently signed on for to be there weekly, to actually wrestle weekly shows or do a full-time schedule. Whether it's only for a year or a couple of years, I don't know how long the contract is. But
I'm curious to see how good he actually is, though. I know he's one of the best in the world, but being away for so long, does he still have it?
And he's not a young man as well.
No, he's not. And as well, to be honest, I'd be interested to see how AEW are going to handle Punk's ego. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think that there's, we are extremely sure of ourselves, and there's definitely going to be a bit of willy waving when we turn up, So I think I'd be interested to see how they're going to handle his ego. And we were chatting about this during the week. It would be cool if he came out as the fifth Labor Jericho. I think that would be quite cool. Just to give a big name for his final challenge before MJF. But or fourth, whichever. Daniel Bryan, as I say, I know he wants to be more of a family man now because of the kids and stuff, but as Billy said, he's Christ in the ring. He absolutely is, and he's just anybody who in AEW who wrestles with him, it's going to be a clinic. They're going to learn so much from him. Aside from wrestling style, but in-ring presence, it's especially for his build and his size. So I think definitely he is warranted in AEW. Punk for the pop and the whole heist of the century that we got him in WWE, don't have him anymore. I think that's more the appeal of it because Tony Khan's, let's face it, a little bitchy. So he is. So yeah, I'm on the fence about Punk. I'm not really sure what he's going to bring because I think we have a little bit of that already. But Daniel Bryan all the way.
Love it, guys. Go on, Matt.
I was just going to say, I'm looking forward to see what they do with Daniel Bryan. But I said to see in the group chat, I think, well, I'll be personally disappointed if they don't use Final Countdown as his theme song. Let's move on. But
I love it. That's just been a great show as always. So thank you all for your time on this beautiful weekend. It's a glorious day. We've had the best weather in Cork for a long time. Billy, it's an honor. Thank you for coming on behalf of Phoenix Wrestling, and we will have all the videos up and stuff. Guys, do check out Phoenix Wrestling on Twitter. As you said, get behind them. They have a lot of followers, and just keep an eye there. We'll keep you updated with all the movement moving forward. Hopefully everything is resolved soon, and there is a positive outcome for Phoenix Wrestling in Cork. Matt, Elizabeth, Jer, and Phil, thank you very much. I know we've all got vaccines in recent days. We're all feeling a bit groggy, this and that, but hopefully there's a good couple of weeks to come. Guys, don't forget to check out WrestleSlam on Twitter as well. And we have a big announcement next week. Huge announcement. It's going to be in regards to SummerSlam. All I'm going to say is the quiz with Liz will be there. The quiz with Liz will be there. Yes. So do stay tuned. We'll have all the info next week on the show. Guys, be safe. God bless. Catch you all soon. And stay tuned to WrestleSlam as always. Thank you very much.
Thanks a million, guys. Pleasure.
bye, guys.